Word up. Hello, everyone! Welcome in! Hello. Welcome into Festival of Ages 25, everyone! We are live! And lovely people! Everybody's so lovely! Let's go! Please don't throw things at me ow. Alright, fine. Be violent. It's fine. My feelings aren't hurt. You're giving me channel points anyway. But yes, hello everyone. Welcome. It's so good to see you guys. We've only been away from each other for what, a day or so? Barely? What a lovely day it's been. Ow. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. Oh. It's okay. They always do this. But yes, hello everyone. It's so good to see your guys' faces. I hope you guys loved the music that we had during the beginning. Thought you guys could use some good bangers going through. You know how it goes. Hey Glitch, what's up? Hello Rain Boom. How are you? It's been one whole eternity. It's been 9,000 years. But yes, we have a guest today, don't we? For a lovely one-on-one interview. Everyone say hello to liaserenityrose, my guest for tonight.
Hello everyone.
She is very lovely. You guys will love her. And then you will look at all of her things. You will go to her channel and you will follow her and you will like all of her videos. And then anytime you see her on the street, you will go, whoa, that's Leah! That's Leah right there! And then you'll swarm her for autographs. But I swear to God, if you do this when she's with family, I'll find you. And I will put you in the timeout corner. But also, hello, everyone. But yes, Leah, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and what you're about?
Hello everyone, my name is liaserenityrose, but you can call me Leah as everyone else does here. But I am a content creator and a graphic designer. I actually had my own festival that I started for the first time, which is a spring festival, which is titled Serenity Spring Festival. So what that is about is I was inspired by Festival of Ages and of course Team Starlight's winter festival as well. So it inspired me to do something similar. So I actually did a spring festival because no one actually does spring. And it actually fit my OC's aesthetic, obviously, because she has the pinks mostly, and then like the light blue and the yellow. So I based it around the theme. And ironically, I actually went to Japan, which the logo was inspired from.
Lucky.
Yeah, so it was just by coincidence when I actually did this like spring festival the first time. I actually went on, I was on a 2-month hiatus, so, because I actually went to the Philippines and Japan for vacation for 3.5 weeks. And I actually finally got to go to Japan and got to experience the culture and their nerd anime culture over there, because I've seen so many countless videos of them just embracing the anime culture over there. It's crazy.
Yeah, I hear it's pretty insane, and that like they also over there kind of they're fans of like some stuff from the Western culture to a degree, which is really interesting, as opposed to like how we are over here, where we're just like fanatics over everything they do.
Yeah, it's kind of like, whoa, it's like a switcheroo. You're like, whoa, Japan actually likes stuff.
Yeah, Japan likes us.
It's crazy over there. Like the culture is like very intriguing. I actually went to Shibuya Crossing.
Ooh, that must have been fun.
Yeah, I actually finally also got to meet my mom's cousin, one of my many aunts that I never met until this year, because she actually speaks she speaks very fluent Japanese, and she actually showed us around, and she's like, "Hey, I'll take you to Shibuya." And then when we saw, the scramble, right, all the
Mm-hmm.
crosswalks like crossing each other, she's like, "This is not a lot of people." We're like, "Are you kidding me? There's still a lot of people." And she's like, "This is not a lot." That's what she told us. We're like, "Okay." But yeah, I got to experience that, and of course, I actually also, other than my spring festival, actually wanted to increase and change the actual, you know, because the festivals, that Festival of Ages and Winter Carnival, kind of just focus on like Sega and Sonic. What I want to do is to stand out and do different like cartoons and anime, make it more where it's more diverse. So I wanted to bring that to my festival. So I actually ended up doing like some Sonic Twitter Spaces. I also did like Miraculous. I actually run a podcast other than my Goddess Spotlight with liaserenityrose. That's like my main podcast series that I do on my YouTube channel, where I do Q&As with like voice actors, artists, content creators, and whatnot. So like any types of guests, you know. And I have like reached out to like specific Sonic voice actors, and I've done Q&As with them. Like I've done with like Mike Pollock, Ryan Bartley. I also did Devin Mack, Ian Hanlon, and I think the most recent I did yesterday actually. I actually had a Q&A with the original voice actress of Maria Robotnik, Moriah Angeline, um on my YouTube channel yesterday. So getting to know like these voice actors, getting to know them and how they actually started, they all have unique stories. And that's why I love doing that podcast series um uh, on my channel, because it's just always so intriguing. And for those who I am not ashamed to admit this, but I am a huge Miraculous Ladybug fan.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
If you are a huge Miraculous Ladybug fan, we're gonna be best friends very immediately. because I enjoy that show. Like, sure, the writing can be like hit and miss. I'll say that. But the show is very, very intriguing in terms of the story and lore that they have. And I also run a podcast, another podcast series, which is called the Lucky Charm Podcast. And I actually have a special guest who I am collabing with on that podcast, and they go by Chi. And in case if you don't know who she is, she also goes by AKA the Cartoon Hotspot. And she does like a lot of video essays on like cartoons and anime, and she like puts her review, and she actually does deep dives on like characters and the episode, and it's very intriguing. So I've been a fan of her videos. So I literally did the most unconventional thing, and I reached out to her on Instagram to see if she's willing to do this Lucky Charm podcast. And luckily, it took her a while to respond back, but she's like, "You know what? I want to do this." So she was very intrigued by my podcast proposal. So now I actually run the Lucky Charm podcast with her. And the Lucky Charm podcast, we tackle like interesting topics, we actually, I think our highest episode that we've done was the Miraculous Ladybug Awakening movie, where we actually did review the movie, and we did it in segments of specific topics that we wanted to tackle in that. And that's like the most viewed episode, which is like over 1K, which is crazy. Because but I'm guessing because a lot of people like a lot of people really enjoyed the movie. Like the Miraculous Ladybug movie is amazing. For those in, so I would say that was like the highest viewing, and then I also do another one with the other two podcasts that I do on my YouTube channel. Is I also do a Sonic Lore with Radar with my very good buddy, Floof, aka Radar. I actually reached out to him because he's like the lore person that I go to for Sonic lore, and we decided to do a. I asked him, "Hey, do you want to do this podcast?" So I actually made like all the logos for my podcasts actually, and that's where my graphic design background comes in. If you if you've seen the logo designs I've done for each of my podcasts, they were all made by me. Um, and of course, the very last one is the Tangle and Blaze Tangled Fiery Shenanigans. For those who tune into that podcast, it's a very intriguing one. For those who have like tuned into the Sonic Revolution like character Discord panels, yeah, this was a proposal that Kevin reached out to me about, and I reached out to the Revo VAs for Tangle and Blaze, and they're like, "Are you kidding me? You're actually asking if we want to do this?" And I said, "Yeah." And both Corin and Sydney were just great to work with, and they immediately accepted it. And what we decided is to have the podcast actually connect to Sonic Revolution's character panels. So in those, we have like specific specific skits. And sometimes we will reference what happened in a character panel in that podcast. And people are like, "Wait, you're bringing this up?" But now you guys know, this podcast series is connected to the Sonic Revolution character panel. So if you hear like Kevin and I like referencing that happens in a character panel, that's why. um, so yeah, like those are the types of content I do on my YouTube channel. And in regards to Sonic Revolution, it's actually like my 3rd year as a staff member. I was brought in, of course, by Kevin here. So, like, I was literally just like suggesting stuff, and then he just like messages me and says, "Hey, do you want to make graphics for Sonic Revolution?" Like he just reached out to me out of the blue, and I said, "Sure." So I was brought on as a staff member, and this is like my 3rd year, and I was formerly a social media manager for Revo, but then I actually got, you could say, I was also given team lead. So yeah, I actually brought on 2 of my very good college friends as part of my graphic design team. And I actually am their boss technically, so I'm a team lead for Sonic Revolution for the design team, and we are like a well-oiled machine. And working for Revo has been such an honor. And of course, I gotta give shout out to my boy Kevin. He's the one who taught me the ropes of Discord. I had like no idea how Discord worked. But thanks to him, he really helped me catch up on how Discord works. So now I'm like at least like proficient enough to know the settings. So shout out to you, Kevin. Love you, man.
We love Kevin. Kevin's so cool.
But yeah, that's what's about me.
Well, I mean, you have done a lot. I feel like you're constantly working on a project for something. Whether it be like anything for Revo or those song covers that you have on your YouTube channel. From experience, I know that you've worked with a couple of of the voice actors in Revo doing song covers with them. How exactly did that start?
Oh, this is a very interesting story. It all started because like for those who know, I think it was like when the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out 2023 came out. We all know that Bowser song that pretty much went viral. And it was funny because it was just like a funny idea from Kevin himself. And he's like saying, hey, we should make this a song cover. And I said, imagine Sonic singing about Amy and it's roses for Peaches. And it's basically a parody. So I literally suggested it and DM'd Andrew HVA about this. And he's like, hey, do you want to like make a song about it? And he's like, okay. It's like, yeah, sure. It's like, this sounds very interesting. And Kevin, like, I didn't really take it seriously, but Andrew actually recorded himself singing it. He actually came up with all the lyrics himself.
That's amazing.
And like, he sent it to me and Doom first, I think, because we were like getting pretty close at that time. And Doom and I, we were just laughing our butts off because Andrew nailed the Roses covers so well. And what's funny is that cover, literally, I ended up getting an IMDb page because of that cover. I had no idea until like Andrew told me. It's like, hey, did you know you got an IMDb page because of the Roses cover? I'm like, are you kidding me? So he actually linked it to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is real. But yeah, the Roses cover, it's pretty hilarious for those who haven't listened to it. Oh my gosh, Andrew just embodies Sonic so well. And because of that, it got other like Revo VAs like very interested. But I think the very first one that I did was that I actually collabed with Andrew and Doom, which is the Simple and Clean cover. Another fun fact about me, I am a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts. I grew up with that game, and when I was playing Sonic Frontiers, it gave me Simple and Clean vibes for some strange reason with Sonic and Amy's interactions. So I literally proposed this like song cover idea to Doom and Andrew and have it be a duet. And and it took, I think, about 3 sessions to practice the song because what's funny, this is some funny behind the scenes, what happened is that Andrew, if you listen to Simple and Clean, you can kind of hear Andrew hit the high notes, like, and that took with a lot of perseverance and like a lot of practice, because in our practice session, he literally tried to hit the high note that Utada Hikaru sings. Bless her for this amazing song that she sings. But what happened is that he couldn't hit it with his Ryan Drummond Sonic voice, so he tried to do it in his Jason Griffith Sonic voice, and his voice cracked.
Oh, jeez.
During practice, and Doom and I were laughing our butts off with that, and it was the most hilarious thing. Unfortunately, it was never recorded because at the time we were doing private calls, so we couldn't record it, but it was the most hilarious blooper, and Doom and I were just like, dude's like, man, this should have been recorded. I was like, I know. But when Andrew sent his lines, you know, his singing lines, he did such an amazing job, and he actually improvised the end, which I had like no idea because I didn't expect him to do that. And then when Doom recorded hers and then she audio mixed it together, I was just like, oh my gosh, like the ending sounds 10 times better than the original.
That's awesome.
Like because the song ends and then you just hear instrumental for like almost a minute, I think, or like, yeah, like for more than like several minutes, and then the song ends. But like with them, they're like, and then they just repeated the lyrics and is like, oh my gosh, I kind of like this is part of the song, even though it's not. Like they improvised the end. If you listen to the Simple and Clean duet cover, like shout out to my BFFs, Andrew HBA and Doom the Mean Queen. You both are so amazing. So listen to that song cover, and then if you hear the end, like they do, like it feels like the song is just so seamless and it's amazing. And that was like a huge undertaking, and we actually managed to show this for Revo Tunes in the Revo server, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, that was amazing singing!" And it was funny because some of our Revo buddies are like, "Wait, Andrew can sing?" I'm like, "Yeah, he can."
He's quite the talented fella.
Yeah.
For as long as I've known him, he's always had such a huge talent in a lot of areas.
Yeah, like Andrew will just keep surprising you with what he can do. Like, very talented voice actor.
Love that.
Like,
never let them know your next move.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And of course, since I'm doing an interview with for your Festival of Ages glitch, I have to talk about that collab we did for the Sage cover.
Sure. That was an experience.
Yeah, like I remember you were like, I know you were kind of like struggling to figure out how do I keep this at like Sage's like voice range while making it emotional, because like that song, like I remember you said I did not know this had lyrics.
But it's true, I didn't. Like I remember you like showing me the song and you're like, this is the one I want you to try. And I was just like, Leah, I'm gonna be so real with you. I didn't know this song had lyrics. I've never heard this with lyrics. And I remember us sitting and listening to it, and then immediately after we were done, I was just like, wow, this is an amazing song. Leah, I don't know how to sing. Why are you having me do this? You're asking the wrong person, and you're like, it's gonna be fine. I'm like, Leah, no. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, Laser Star, welcome in. I was like, Leah, you're putting a lot of faith into somebody who's not even sure how to even go about this. Didn't even know the song had lyrics. I am so not the right person for this. And I was like, and also Sage is so quiet in terms of like tone and like the way that she speaks. And I was just like, how you took the Whisperer character and said, yeah, let's give them a song that has nothing but high notes and ballad belts. I was like, Leah, I thought we were friends. Why are you setting me up?
But Glitch, you did such a phenomenal job. Like even Doom, who sings a lot, literally commended you, and so did Andrew. So
that is a lot of high praise.
Like people were like commending you, and I'm pretty sure you saw MC Voice's like comments on the video. It's like, great job, little sis.
I had a lot of fun with the song. Like, it was a really good pick. It was. Mm-hmm. It was really scary in terms of skill level, but
yeah.
It was a really interesting song to be picked, and the best one for her character, for sure. But I do remember that a lot of the issue that we did have in the beginning, while we were sitting in VC, was just that her voice just doesn't go that high. Like, not normally anyway, not in a natural sense that doesn't sound like she's screaming. So it's like, I wasn't sure how to hit any of these notes, if at all, without it not sounding like her voice anymore. Which was so incredibly stressful. Like, in a good way. It was a fun puzzle to, like, try and solve. But I just remember that every take we were doing, I just kept going, why is her voice so low? If she just spoke louder, this probably wouldn't be so much of an issue. But she speaks in such a tone that you almost couldn't fathom that, like, if she sung the notes would be hit this way. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna wreck the song. It's just not gonna sound like her at all. Like, GK can absolutely sing, don't let her lie. No, don't you start spreading lies that I know how to sing. I don't. This was very much a first time thing. I'm up to do more, and I have done another one for Leah before with other people. But I'm just saying, like, don't go telling people I'm a professional. That right there is a lie. don't go setting me up.
Yeah, like, it was a huge undertaking because, like, especially for the other song cover that we can talk about that you were also singing, is we had you, Glitch, we had Andrew and MC Voices to sing Double Trouble.
Yes, Team Rocket's theme.
Team Rocket's theme from
that was a
English
fun session. Goodness gracious.
Like, you guys just nailed it out of the park in changing the lyrics, because obviously when you hear the original one, you're like, yeah, this has nothing to do with robots and Eggman.
Right.
So it's like, that's why I'm kind of like, it's so good that all three of you know your characters so well and how they would say it and how it could time with the rhythm of the song, because it is very difficult. Because, like, I think it took us a while to come up with "We Robots Rockin'," you know, like, because it's Team Rockets Rockin'.
It was so fun, though. Like, I'm glad, like you said, that we came up with, like, lyrics that could work. Because I know we were struggling for a while just to sing the regular lyrics the way that they're formatted.
Yeah, like, because there was, like, because I know the improvised end was also good, because, like, yeah, there's no way Orbot, Cubot, and Sage are going to be blasting off like Team Rocket. Just no. Like, they're not like them.
Yeah.
But it was great, and of course I want to give shout out to Jasa King for doing the Eggman voice.
Yes, they did a fantastic job.
Like, I literally I think I tried I reached out to Sortie because I know Boyle can be very busy, so I'm like, and then this was like on a crunch time, so I'm like, okay, who else can I reach out to who does an Eggman voice? So I reached out to the understudy, Sortie, obviously, and he said, oh, can you ask someone else? I'm like, busy. I'm like, okay, so I literally ended up asking Jasa King. And he's like, yeah, I was like, I can do it. And then I just told him, make sure you sing the improvised, like, you say the improvised lines, the changed lines, not the original one. So it wouldn't confuse. And then he gave me like several takes, and I'm like, oh, send this to MC. And MC did a great job audio mixing it. Shout outs to him. He is such a sweetheart. In doing that, and of course the improvised lines were just great because it just fit their characters more. Like, obviously they wouldn't be like Team Rocket, so
right. Very true.
Yeah, but it was a huge undertaking because I think that was like the first time I was like collabing with like 3 people. So that was like a huge undertaking. Usually it's either like one, like an individual, or a duet. So doing 3 was definitely something new. But we managed to like make it work. But yeah,
in all honesty, it was a really fun experience. I think it was kind of new for all of us. Maybe aside from Andrew, who might have probably done it before. I don't know about the others, actually. But it definitely was a new experience to do a project like that with so many people. But I think everything came out really well. I for one, can say that when you lead a project, it feels very organized. I appreciate how you take the time to talk with everyone when they're involved in a project, and try to get things done as best as possible. I feel like you take a lot of that into consideration, including like feedback, which is really appreciated. So, you know, kudos to you for the stuff that I have seen you do. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, like I had mentioned before, like, you know, your spring festival, I was very proud when you had been, you know, contemplating running it and going, you know what, I want to do my own festival and, you know, talk about all these things. And you just kind of went for it. You like gunned right out the gate to do it. And I gotta say, that's a lot of That's a lot of determination and just like tenacity and motivation. Like, it's hard to stay focused doing this type of thing. Ow, god damn it. Sorry, the audience is mean to me. Spain! Hello, I see you. But yeah, I appreciate, you know, just the work ethic that you had to get all of that done. As somebody who has run a festival for as long as I have, I know that it can be stressful, and, you know, take a lot of time. You know, it's a lot of organization, especially.
Yeah, like absolutely. It was definitely a lot of work, but I was able to work with what I have. Like I said, I have connection to the Miraculous community because of the Cartoon Hotspot. Shout out to her. She is such a sweetheart. And getting to work with her, and I asked her, "Hey, I'm going to I want to do a Miraculous Twitter space during my spring festivals. Like, do you want to host it with me?" And she's like, "Absolutely." And because of her, we actually got like people who tune into her Twitter spaces tuning into mine, you know, to talk about Miraculous. and it actually did like really cute. For those who don't know, I actually, since it is Serenity Spring Festival, I put Team Serenity dressed as Ladybug, Cat Noir, and Reina Rouge. And I also have them have me, Doom, and Andrew's OCs dressed in like kimonos. As part of the theme, because, you know, obviously in Japan, you know, they like wearing kimonos, so I wanted to theme it to that. And of course, as I said, I always have a huge respect for Japanese culture, and when I did go to Japan, I actually saw people wearing kimonos, like renting them and actually wearing them. And then like my aunt was like asking, "Do you want to wear one?" I'm like, "No thank you, it's hot." Like, I don't
It's sweltering.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, no thank you. If it was like at least a little bit cool, yeah, I would probably rent one, but I'm like, no thank you. It's too hot.
Honestly, fair. When weather doesn't permit, that's so sad, right?
Yeah.
Just sucks a wrench and everything.
Yeah, because like in Japan, like for those who've never been to Japan, if you go in the summer, it is hot. Luckily, I was prepared and had like super light, like summer pants, you know, where at least if there's like breeze, it's like super light fabric. So it really helps. But yeah, I was very determined to make it work. And of course, I got to give shout out to Chaos of the Protectors, aka Chris. Shout outs and kudos to him, because he has been like, ever since I started like doing live streams on my YouTube channel, he is the one who streams for me. So God bless his heart and his generosity. So because of him, like we're able to do these live streams. And of course, he recently, for those who tuned in yesterday, he actually co-hosted with me for Mariah Angeline Q&A yesterday, and it's always such a fun time to have him like co-host when he volunteers. And it's been such a great honor. I actually what's really cool is that since I'm like in a team with with my BFFs Andrew HB and Doom the Mean Queen.
Mm-hmm.
During the Spring Festival, I wanted to give something back to Andrew because he's done so much for me, always being patient with doing collabing on song covers and all that. I decided, you know what? Since his birthday is on the month I did the Spring Festival, I was like, let's dedicate a birthday stream just getting to know him. So I proposed it to him. I asked him, "Hey, do you want to I want to do a birthday stream for you?" And then I said, "What date do you want to do it?" So, and I asked him, "What's your schedule?" So he gave me his schedule, and I said, "Okay, how about we do it on this date so that way you can celebrate your birthday properly on your birthday." So I actually did a dedicated stream to him, um, because his birthday is in April. So, and he felt honored that I was like, yeah, I was like, I just want the audience to get to know you, just ask you questions. And he told me that, like, Leah, you're asking me very thought-provoking questions that I have to think about my answer.
No, totally understand.
So I did like a dedicated birthday stream for Andrew for during my Spring Festival, and I wanted to I also actually did a collab with Megma, of course. For those who tuned in to Festival of Ages, I know you had Megma
I
as a guest
love Meg! Meg's the best! That's
So
bestie right there.
And I like before the Spring Festival, I did do a Q&A with him for their fan game because their fan game is look great so far. And I actually reached out to him that, like, hey, do you want to collab on to do an art contest, a fan art contest for your fan game? And he said, yeah, let's do it. So I actually decided to make it a Twitter space so that way if people have any questions about the fan art contest, and we ran it for like 2 weeks, and then Meg and his team announced the winner. And I asked him, do you know when you're going to announce the winner, because I know people are going to ask. And yeah, that was like, it was with my Spring Festival was literally the first collab of a fan art contest.
Nice.
So it was such an honor to do the very first fan art contest with them, and a lot of people submitted for that art contest. And but yeah, Meg is great. Like, Megma is great. There's such a great guy to chat with, like, I can tell how passionate he is about this fan game, this project he's been like working on. He and his team are doing such a great job, and hopefully we get to see more, because I know on my stream he actually revealed 9 tails, obviously. And as soon as he revealed that, people are like, is there any other characters you're going to reveal? And I had to like reiterate several times during the stream where I'm like, this is the only one he's revealing today. Wait, more announcements.
So fair.
And they kept asking during the stream, and I had to reiterate like several times. I'm just like, okay, let's not get frustrated. They probably just got in. So I'm not gonna hold. I'm not gonna hold it against them. But I'm like, I'm gonna reiterate, he's not gonna show any other characters for this stream. So, that was just, it was just funny to deal with that during his Q&A for the fan game, because people are just like, we really want to see what's the other characters. but yeah, doing the Spring Festival was such an honor. I get to talk about my other favorite fandoms, like because I don't really get to talk about Kingdom Hearts, obviously, and all that. So I was like, I wanted to do something like that, so I did. So I like, that's how my Spring Festival actually stands out, because I do a mix of like live streams and Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces is a great way to interact with your audience directly, because think of it as like a Discord stage channel.
Mm-hmm.
but it's different at the same time. Um, so doing something like that, I think, really helps enhance the experience, because I think when I went on my hiatus, when I actually did my very first Twitter space after my 2-month hiatus, they're like, Leah, we miss your Twitter spaces so much.
Aw, that's
Um,
awesome.
so like I will like there's like some regulars that tune in pretty often depending on the topic, obviously, but for my spring festival that I did, I have to like look through my links. I actually did, of course, I did one with Son Amy.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta do one with that. And then I brought in my very good buddy Kenny, to talk about Super Mario. Yeah, I'm also a huge fan of the Super Mario franchise, so I actually wanted to have her talk about how passionate she is about it. Like talk about the games, any like any funny like quirks about the characters and all that jazz. So I actually had her, and then she's like, uh, and she thanked me that like I'm so glad you asked me because I really wanted to. And then I invited my other BFFs, Maybella and Super Dan. I've been BFFs with them for like 10 years, both of them, which is crazy. And I actually decided to invite them to do a Twitter space about convention memories, because we're pretty much veterans going to conventions. So,
Mm-hmm.
so we actually talked about that. And then this is the most unconventional like admiration that I have, but I also got to do a Scooby-Doo Twitter space. I don't get to
Nice.
talk I don't get to talk about Scooby-Doo that often, but I was like, this is the perfect outlet because I'm doing multiple fandoms. Like, no one's gonna judge me. So I did a Scooby-Doo one, and I got like, I got like people tuning in for that, and they're like, yes, let's talk about that talking dog that likes to eat a lot. And a very, very, very fun fact: Scooby-Doo, I will always for eternity. I grew up with Scooby Doo, so before the talking blue hedgehog, it was a talking dog that likes to eat a lot. um, that was my very first admiration. So getting to do that for my spring festival was great. And talking with the fans, because like a lot of people, like I got like some regulars that really enjoyed these Twitter spaces. Um, and doing these has been like so inspirational because I get to do stuff other than Sonic, because obviously most of my content is Sonic based, but because of this spring festival I did, I was like, I wanted to do something that was multiple fandoms and what I liked, because I was like, it's great, Festival Ages is amazing, you're doing it for like all of the Sega IPs, which is awesome. And that inspired me where I'm like, I want to do more outreach, other than Sonic, you know, um, because obviously the Sonic fandom gets a lot of like, outreach anyway. So I'm like, I want to like give other fandoms a chance. And
Mm-hmm.
and recently I fell in love with K-pop Demon Hunters, which exploded on Netflix.
It sure did.
So, but yeah, like it's because of your festival glitch and Team Starlight's Starlight Winter Carnival really inspired me, but I wanted to stand out with actually engaging with the fans directly. So that was yeah, that's what my spring festival was all about.
Genuinely very honored. Um, it's fun to do these. And the best thing that could ever happen, at least in my eyes, is that somebody sees how much fun I'm having and the people that have fun with this and go, that sounds awesome and I want to do that. That's like the best thing ever, because more people reaching out to others just means that the connection grows larger, and I'm all about that. So I think it's really cool that somebody feels like their passions could also be heard and enjoyed by other people, and, you know, make something like this. When you had first said that you were going to do it, I was just like, this is awesome, because it means that you felt passion in your heart enough that you were confident that putting it on the stage for other people, everybody was going to have fun with it. And I love that. It takes a lot. It's something that you got to feel pretty brave about, but I really urge people, I'm not saying everybody go make a festival like right now, but I'm saying go and show your passions to other people. For sure. Mm-hmm. I think it's a lot of fun to share that with other people and also have them share it with you, you know? So I'm really glad that you were able to do your festival, Leah. It was really fun. It was really nice to see all the various different topics. That was also really cool. And just seeing how much fun everybody was having that you were having was just really awesome to see. So, you know, kudos for your first festival going so extremely well.
Oh, I appreciate it, Glitch. I think everyone's favorite Twitter space, I think, was the Voices of Sonic Revolution. I gathered a lot of our Revo buddies.
What a wild time that was.
It was like a lot of fun. And I think a lot of people like that because it was like outside of Revo. And luckily, the amount of Revo BAs I invited was enough for all the speakers, because Twitter Space is very limiting with how many speakers. So luckily, luckily I was able to put Andrew and Doom as co-hosts, so that way all you guys can occupy all the speaker roles. And it was like, oh, this is just so much fun. I think you said like the funniest comment, Glitch, before we even started, because like Pinky literally said, Andrew HVA is not following me.
Oh, right. I remember that.
And then you just said, oh, all right, let's just make this a session and just like bully Andrew.
Right. Let's judge Andrew. Let's bully Andrew. I guess this is just a bully session now. He's such a good sport, though.
Yeah, like Andrew knows that we're playing with him. But that one, I think, like a lot of people like have told me, they're like, thank you, Leah, for like organizing this. You know, being able to talk to the Rebel BAs, right? Like outside of Rebel was like, I think they all enjoyed it, which I'm really glad, because I want to give the Rebel BAs spotlight, you know, because you guys deserve it, you know. Aww. And I'm like, and I just love how chaotic it got.
Definitely.
It was definitely the most chaotic Twitter space out of the ones I hosted, so it was definitely a lot of fun and people enjoyed it, which I'm very glad. But because who knows, I may do another Voices of Sonic Revolution next year for Twitter Space.
That'd be fun.
Though, like, I just love how chaotic it, like, like I didn't really direction. I'm kind of like, yeah, this is kind of like, you know, people can ask you guys questions, you know, but then it just got so chaotic because of how, like, there was like so many of us.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. But of course, you know, with Twitter Space, it can get very glitchy. So that's kind of the thing that people need to realize, that sometimes when you try to make someone a speaker, Twitter Space can be very slow at making them a speaker. So that's why it kind of took a while to start that space, because when I was trying to make you guys speakers, I'm just like, Twitter Space, why are you slow at making them a speaker?
Just like, why aren't you working? Why aren't you working?
Like, it was doing that every time I was trying to add each of you as a speaker. I'm like, no, why are you doing this, Twitter Space? This is the worst timing to do.
It was trying its best. It was trying its best.
Like, I could tell Twitter Space was very delayed. Very delayed. Like, because, like, it kind of felt like I was waiting eternity for each of you to become a speaker. Like, I think the fastest that became a speaker was Josh. Like, Josh was, like, no issue. Meanwhile, everybody else was, like, it was, like, slow for everybody else. I'm just like, Twitter Space, this is bad timing for you to be going so slow and making the specific people I want to be speakers. So, but they're still fun regardless. But that's what I would say is like a negative about Twitter Spaces, because if you're trying to make multiple people speakers, it takes like an eternity for for it to go through, because sometimes it doesn't work the first time, and then sometimes you have to go to invite to speak, as a speaker or co-host, and it still takes eternity for that to work.
Gosh.
So, yeah. But I do enjoy hosting Twitter Spaces, and doing it for the Spring Festival really made me passionate about engaging with the fans also with that way, other than doing live streams, because doing live streams can be very exhausting. And Twitter Spaces, it's like very easy, because it's like, oh, just start the space, and then you already and if you wanted to get recorded, you can like put that in the setting. Yeah.
No, I agree with the whole like live streams can be really exhausting. Very true. It's good that Twitter Spaces are as accessible as they are. They do feel like compact stages, as you were saying, and that could be a lot easier to manage, since is there a limit to how many people can go in?
I'm not sure. Like the speakers and the co-hosts, yeah. I'm not sure. But, I don't really know. I would have to like look that up, but
yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
I just go like, just the fact that it is a bit more like compact and easier to manage does make it, I guess it makes it more viable to host more of them, for simplicity's sake, and how quick it is to throw that together, which is awesome. But yeah, that being said though, that's why a good balance is key, and I've certainly bitten off more than I could chew before. Totally understand, Kevin. Genuinely understand that. Feel that in my bones. But yeah, no, the Twitter Spaces were really cool. All of them were super fun. The whole festival as a whole was really cool. Very interested to see what you'll do next time. And yeah, just the like going back on the song covers, they've all been extremely impressive in quality, organization, and just production in general. So I think that those are really awesome. But besides that, I know you said you did graphic design, or you do graphic design for Revo.
Yes, I do.
So how is it working with Revo since you started? You said it's been 3 years now that you've been on staff.
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, shout out to Kevin for bringing me on as a staff member. I was just a regular attendee, and I found out about Sonic Revolution like back in 2018. And and then I was actually taking photos, and then literally Sonic Remix and Angel Lydia saw I was taking photos with like a single reflex camera, and I'm like, I'm taking photos because I love doing this, and they're like, oh, we would have loved to have you as a volunteer. But I ended up becoming a staff member in the long run, so I ended up helping them with graphics, and it really has helped with audience engagement. Because before, Sonic Revolution obviously started as an in-person convention. Shout out to Sonic Remix and Angel Lydia. They always do such a great job when planning it. And being able to work with them in Sonic Revolution has been great. And I also, for those who don't know, I also have with my very good buddy Gokin-san, we actually host Revo Tunes, which used to be called Cartoon Nights back in the day, where there was like a period of time right after the convention or online convention is like done, like literally they go on a hiatus of like no panels. And that was the idea of, hey, let's show cartoons, as like another fun activity in the Revo server. So we ended up doing something like that, and it has evolved, and it's gonna be around, I think, almost 2 years this year since Revo Tunes, and it has evolved over time, which I'm very glad. Because our very first one we did was we literally did a SpongeBob like marathon, just showing episodes from SpongeBob. And then I told them, let's do themes, because there's different genres of cartoons and anime. I think this is like the perfect opportunity to make it stand out. And now we get like regulars for Revo Tunes tuning in, and I want to give a shout out to someone who gave us the inspiration to do Cartoon Nights, and he does it in a Brony server, Red Card. Shout out to him. He inspired us to do Revo Tunes. And I think when he first tuned in, we actually had characters like popping in. And I literally reached out to Red Card. I said, hey, like, what did you think of the characters? And he said, oh my gosh, they sound so cool. Like, and he said, this really stands out from the way he runs Cartoon Nights. But we decided to call it Revo Tunes because we have Revo panels, Revo replays, obviously, and Revo Tunes. So we wanted to keep with the theme with Revo. But I do want to give shout out to Gokin-san. He's always such a great person to work with, and like yes, Dino Kaiju, yeah. That one time we actually had an animated movie theme, and we were showing Pokemon the movie 2000. And what happened is that we had Fang there, and the entire movie, for those who watch Pokemon the movie 2000, we have like Moltres, Articuno, and Zapdos are like in chaos because of like a Pokemon collector, because he wants to collect, the legendary birds. And Lugia has to be the one to quell them. And Fang decided to make some fast food chicken jokes the entire movie. Like, it was like a plethora of like fast food chicken jokes. And then it got to a point where it's like, oh wait, does that mean like Lugia's Colonel Sanders? You did not. Like, it literally a fast food fried chicken joke.
Oh wow.
Like, it was hilarious. And I was
sorry, we're actually getting a raid. Hi Dev and Raccoon, hello, how are you? How you doing, bud? It's good to see you. How was your stream? Thank you so much for the raid. Sorry to cut you off. I felt bad if I didn't say hi when they came in.
Oh no, you're all good.
Hello.
Yeah, like, for those who don't know, I actually did do a Q&A with Devin Mack. Shout out to him. It is on my YouTube channel, and it's like 2 hours of asking him questions and getting to know him. Yeah, it's just very, very, very cool. Like, I actually have a interesting story with Devin Mack. When I just happened to run into him at San Diego Comic-Con by chance. Like, I had no idea he was there at all. And what ended up happening, because I was with one of my BFFs, Maybella, and she wanted to go to a voice actor workshop. I'm like, sure, yeah, we'll go to that. When we went to leave, because we went to go to the B Cafe, when we were about to leave, I see like Z, and I see Devin. I didn't know it was him because the hat was covering his face. So I was like, who is this guy? I looked down at his badge and it said his name, and my eyes were wide with like, whoa, are you kidding me? So I was very shocked. And I wanted to take a photo, but I was in a hurry at the time because at the Sonic Speed Cafe, they had a meet and greet with Jun Tsunoue and Shota Nakama. So we were in a hurry, but the next day on Saturday, I actually got to I was just with my other friend, and right after after she got to meet Jason Griffith and Colleen O'Shaughnessy, because they were actually doing some meet and greets and autographs, at specific booths. And my friend and I, we were just walking in the exhibit hall, just minding our business, and then I see Devin like looking around, and of course he had the hat, so I didn't recognize him. And I took a shot, and I'm like, Devin? He turned, and he's like, hey! And then he recognized me from the day before, and I actually chat with him. And my friend that was with me, it was her first time going to San Diego Comic-Con, and I was just showing her around. So she was like, who's that? I was like, it's Devin Mack. And she's like, what is he voicing? I'm like, he's the voice of Sonic and Sonic Prime. And she's like, I haven't seen Sonic Prime. And I said, go watch it, it's good. But I got to chat with him, and that's how and I told him a Speed Cafe actually, and he actually went there and he told his story during the interview like a month later after meeting him. So getting to chat with him was like, he's such a sweetheart, such a chill guy. And I love the way he just wants to spread kindness. Bless his heart. But yeah, that's my very cool story of how I met Devin.
That's freaking awesome, though. Yeah, Speed Cafe sounded interesting. It's too bad it was in such, like, random locations that were a little hard to get to if you weren't anywhere nearby. But yeah, no, it's awesome. It's always cool to run into, like, neat people like that out in the wild. But yeah. Trying to think of another thing to toss at you. You pretty much answered any questions I could have asked. Hey, CO, thanks so much for the resub. I appreciate it. 50 months. Holy shit, dude. It's amazing. You're fantastic, bestie. Love you, Slinks. Let me think. Woo! Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. You've been in prison for 50 months, my guy. You could leave anytime, but you choose not to. Okay, how about this? Hi, sorry I'm late. Nah, you're all good. No worries. Here's a question for you. So, in terms of the Sega franchise, what got you into Sonic in the first place? Or I guess into Sega in the first place? What was like your first foray? What game got you in it, or character, or media?
I have told this story a few times before. How I got into Sonic was literally Sonic X. I had no prior knowledge of the Sonic series until I watched Sonic X on 4Kids, back in the day. Because of that entry point, it gave me the characters' archetypes where it's like, oh, okay, Sonic is the hero, he's very cocky, likes to toy with Eggman. Okay, I get his character archetype. And then, because of that show, that anime, I actually got to know each of the characters, and I was like, oh, neat. And then my friend got me playing the games, and my very first one, I have to say, was literally the first Sonic Riders games. And what's very ironic about this is that we all know the character Jet the Hawk. What's interesting is that at this time, when I started to get to know the Sonic characters, my first ex-boyfriend's name was Jet.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's so ironic, and it's so funny because me and my friend, we were geeking about Sonic, and then we always talk hate Jet the Hawk. And then I told my first ex-boyfriend, we were friends at first, obviously. And I said, no, we're not talking about, but Jet the Hawk is not. and then I think one time he played with us, and then he's like, oh no, I know you're talking about the character, not me.
That's really funny, honestly.
Yeah, it's very ironic, but he knows that we were talking about the character, not him. and bless his heart, he just went along with it. So, but yeah, Sonic Riders was my first game, and I never got the handle on how to keep air in while you're racing. I'm
Goodness gracious.
It's kind of like you have to have an extra level of like strategy, because the air in your board can run out so fast, without realizing it. But like, I'm kind of like, this game is kind of difficult. I'm like,
it is pretty hard. The game doesn't tell you how to play it, at least not well.
Yeah,
but it is so fun once you get the hang of it. It's one of those games that's like a little hard to master, but once you're there, oh my god, it feels like a completely different game to play. It's probably why I like running the tournament so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I feel like I got a lot better with zero gravity, because we didn't have to do the air. It was like dealing with like the, obviously the zero gravity stuff. And to me, that was a lot easier to manage, because I became so pro at it, where I didn't have to I was like, I love this mechanic more. It helps you do sharp, 90-degree turns so easier. And I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do this. And so zero gravity, you are Sonic Riders games.
Understandable.
And I love doing those gravity dives, man. Those are so satisfying to do. But yeah, because of Sonic X and Sonic Riders, that was like my introduction. But yeah, fun fact, my first ex-boyfriend's name is Jet.
What a factoid.
Yeah, very crazy, right?
Yeah.
Any other questions, Glitch?
Yeah. In terms of all of the Sonic games out there, what would be considered your top favorite?
Oh, my top favorite. Ooh, that's a hard one.
It is.
I would say, to be bold on this one, I know a lot of people will praise Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Unleashed, which I understand. I hold respect to those games. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, but I do hold respect for Sonic Frontiers. Okay. Because I love the open world aspect, and this goes to my love of Kingdom Hearts. Because Kingdom Hearts, you can roam the world any way you want, and literally a lot of people, like, I think there was this one person that mentioned Sonic Frontiers feels similar to this game, and then they're like, it feels similar to Kingdom Hearts. So I was like, when I started playing Frontiers, I'm just like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna pretend Sonic is Sora.
Oh my gosh.
So it's funny because the only thing I hate in Frontiers is that when you get hit as Sonic, he has the slowest recovery ever. That is my critique.
No, he does.
Recovery. It is so weird because if you compare it to Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora has a counter where if he gets hit, you can do a recoil counter at your enemy. Sonic cannot do that for some reason. I'm just like, okay, how come Sora has better mechanic than Sonic? This makes no sense. I'm just like, Sora is slower than Sonic, so how does he ever recoil, but Sonic doesn't? So I'm just like, what? The logic of this is so funny now that I'm thinking about it. So I gotta just play Sonic Frontiers as I'm playing Kingdom. Of course, lots of Kingdom Hearts fans will say Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best, which I don't blame them. But 3 really amplified it. I know 3 gets a little flack with less worlds, but it's a lot more expansive in 3. which I'm glad that they did. So, um, yeah, but I have to say, yeah, like Sonic Frontiers, because I kind of feel like I'm playing King.
It's not a bad choice, honestly. Frontiers is a pretty solid title. Love it or hate it, it was something new that we hadn't had in a while. And if we had something like it, it wasn't a good iteration comparatively. So, you know, Frontiers is good, though. I could see why somebody would pick Frontiers as, like, their top favorite. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
So, in terms of characters, what would you consider your top?
Is like top 3 or my favorite?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a top 3. I'll be generous this time. Usually I'm pretty brutal about only a top 1.
Okay, my top 1 has to be Amy. Number 1 reason, because she is my favorite color, pink. Fun fact about me. She could be very fiery. You know, like she is so sweet and innocent until she brings out the thorns, and that's how I am. In terms of like, I'm very similar to her, and she also evolves through the games, and I have evolved as a person, so I can relate to her evolution of her character. You know, like now that they showed like Amy a lot more mature now, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm like a mature person, much more mature than I was before. So I really relate to Amy. And then second, obviously Sonic. You know, he's very inspirational. Like I love his quote. I love his quote in Sonic 06. Nothing starts until you take action. And I always take those words every day into what I do, especially my spring festival. I like, even though it was a lot of work to plan, I just went for it. You know, I followed Sonic's advice. I just did it, and I'm like, well, this turned out pretty well. So, and of course, I would say my third favorite character. I would have to say, yeah, I would have to say it's Tails. And a very good reason why is because of Sydney. Like the way that she portrays Tails is just great, and it made me fall in love with Tails' character more because of Sydney. So shout out to Sydney.
Very fair, very fair.
Like every time I hear her in a panel, like especially when she goes into her sassy Tails, it's just like, oh, this just makes me love the character because of the way she portrays him. But yeah, those are my top 3.
Those are honestly very good choices. I get a lot of people that say Amy, and I get a lot of people that say Sonic. Honestly, sometimes I don't get a lot of people that say Tails. I'll hear him at the bottom, like, 5, but I won't hear him as, like, a top character. I think I'll hear Cream more often as a top character than Tails. And it might just be that, like, over time we haven't gotten that much with him. But I think Frontiers slowly kind of changed that a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see. I think it more just poked at the issue. Okay. Out of the Sonic realm, what if you've played any Sega game whatsoever, what would be considered your favorite?
Ooh, I have played some Super Monkey Ball.
Ooh, nice choice.
I love the characters in that. Like, I played Super Monkey Ball 2 at like a family friend's on the GameCube back in the day, and they were doing like, I was just very curious. I was like, what are you guys playing? And I saw like little monkeys in like those like balls, you know, those gotcha balls, you know, and I was just like, this is a cute game. What is it? And they're like racing. This is a thing? Like, this is an interesting racing, because, you know, racing is obviously one of the mini games. And so I ended up playing it. I'm like, hey, this is cool. Like, Super Monkey Ball is cute, you know? And then when I actually read, like, the instruction manual, I was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, Mimi's married to Ai? What?
And they have a child.
And I was very shocked, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
Who
this is
cheats in
basically
bowling?
this is Sonic and Amy, but actually two characters that are married."
Yeah,
Like,
no
it gave
fear
me
of
that vibe.
canonization.
Like, I was very shocked that they were that bold, where it's like, because obviously Mimi does behave like Amy.
Hmm.
Because I read the instruction manual, like Mimi get jealous like when I cares about bananas than her. I'm like, and I'm kind of like, girl, I'm like, you ended up marrying him. Isn't that a good thing? So, Super Monkey Ball, I grew up on that. It was just a super cute game of like cute little monkeys and like gotcha balls. Like, this is cute.
That's a good series, honestly. Not a lot of people talk about it, but the speed runs you can see in that game are insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is a good series. Such a great game to play with other people. It's so fun. Oh, we have
Mhm.
a question from the audience. What was the inspiration behind your OC?
Ooh, ooh. It's very ironic. My OC took a long to come up with a design with. Like, I want to figure out the aesthetic, because if you look at like popular Sonic VTubers, they have like a theme, like Sora Starlight, for example. Um, so I wanted to come up with a specific theme, and I had to come up with her backstory first before I could come up with the design. And basically, my OC was, you could say my OC was inspired off of like Sailor Moon and Wings Club mix.
Okay.
Obviously, with the name Serenity, that's obviously inspired by Princess Serenity from Sailor Moon. Um, and that's why she has like a moon aesthetic. And then I watched like World of Wings, which is the spin-off of Wings Club, and they
Mm-hmm.
basically have to like protect like the people's dreams. And I was like, this is a great story. And I'm like, I'm inspired by this. So I actually combined those two specific like um aspects of the respective shows, and I actually put it onto my OC where she is a queen, and she is immortal, and she's part fairy, part hedgehog. So and basically her mom is like an advisor, and she basically has like this power of foresight where she is able to tell the future, obviously. And she's pretty much my OC, is like a matchmaker because of her foresight ability. um and basically, like, her story is that she does meet Sonic and the others as she's trying to search for like the chosen warriors,
Mm-hmm.
um and stuff. And yeah, she does have a fairy form. I just haven't come up with it in a long time, but she basically has a power that that can pretty much, like, I think I made it in my AU that her power is like the origin of the chaos energy, that Shadow
Ooh.
has. So it's funny because when she actually has like a practice fight with Shadow, she can counter all of his attacks, because like she literally tells him that, oh, you don't have the full power of the chaos energy. um and because of her foresight, she's able to predict where he's going to attack her. So
Oh, wow.
um So, and she's lived for like 1,000 years, so she knows like a lot of fighting technique.
Uh-huh.
um, and she doesn't like she aged until like age 23, and then she stopped aging. So, um, but yeah, inspiration from Sailor Moon and Winx Club. I don't think a lot of people really catch on to it until I explain it.
No, I mean, it's interesting lore and pretty well thought out. It does sound really fun.
Yeah.
An ancient creature, been around forever, just kind of vibing. That's pretty chill.
Mhm. And it's
Um,
really cool. Oh yeah, another I forgot to mention. She actually has a bonded Chow, and
Mm-hmm.
Chows in her realm, they can actually speak actual English. Like like when her when her bonded Chow actually goes to meet Sonic and the others,
Uh-huh.
all of them get like really like shocked and surprised, like, whoa, you can talk? I'm like, yes, I can talk. Like her Chow friend can be very like very sassy. And then like Serenity has to tell her that, well, in this world, chows just say chow chow. They don't speak regular English like you do. So she had to like explain it to her chow friend.
That's pretty funny. Kind of like 8-bit. Well, 8-bit doesn't speak English as much as they just make noises. Like a
Yeah.
Nokia cell phone, but like they can say some English things. Just sounds very guttural and kind of screechy at the same time. Not in a bad way, just kind of like speaking through hisses. But 8-bit is getting there eventually.
Yeah.
They make noises that sound suspiciously like English. In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
At least the decoy one does. Does anybody else in the audience have any questions for Leah? Feel free to type them out. As soon as I see them, I will read them out. But what about being in the Sonic fandom do you enjoy the most?
Oh, I have to say it's like when you get to meet in person at a in-person convention, I would say.
Ooh.
Like those are a lot of fun. Like when I made the announcement that I was going to be at Sonic Revolution, there was like I didn't really show my face that much, so they're like, are you Leah Serenity Rose? But now people, now that I have posted like photos of myself on my socials, people are like, oh hey. And of course I want to give shout out to like Trey Thornton. I have met him in person.
Oh, nice.
Such a sweet guy. Such a sweet guy. And it was really cool to meet like other Sonic fans. Like I actually, for those, if you guys know Frax Sonic Deals, I actually got to meet him recently at San Diego Comic-Con because I DM'd him on Discord. I said, hey, I'm at K1 Speed. If you wanna like meet up and hang out, I'm there. So I actually got to meet Frax Sonic Deals. So yeah, that's what I love about the Sonic fandom. Like when you actually get to meet your online friends in person.
Oh yeah, that's always a treat.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite convention you've ever been to?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Like I love Sonic Revolution. Like because I get to help behind the scenes on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I also got to say San Diego Comic-Con, I've been going since like 2008, which is crazy to think about. Yeah, I've been going before I became a teenager, I think. Yeah, just crazy to think about. And of course, I went this year, all 4 days. So I got to experience that, and I also got to meet I got to go to signings. I got to meet like James Arnold Taylor, super great dude. I've been wanting to meet him, so I finally had the chance to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
Also got to meet the voices of Ladybug, Christina V, and Bryce Pappenbrook.
Nice.
And so they actually, what was interesting is that this was not announced on the Miraculous social at all. Like they said, hey, we're doing a signing with Bryce and Christina, at this specific booth. So I went to that booth and they said, oh, you got to pay for a ticket. I'm like, wait, what? And I said, this was not posted on their socials. We had to pay for a ticket
Oh,
to
wow.
see them. So I only found out the day of when I went to that specific booth. And they said, yeah, you got to pay for a ticket. So I did. So I ended up getting that, and on the ticket, you actually get the Miraculous official cookbook, and Bryce and Christina will actually sign that. which is like during the signing when you go to meet them. So I go to that signing and I actually got to talk with them, and I told them I love season 6. Like, you guys are just nailing it out of the park. And I told them I love Adrian and Marinette's interactions, and them now that they are for those who don't know, Marinette, like Adrianette is canon. It's not just a ship anymore. It is actually canon.
It is real
show.
now.
Mm-hmm. So I actually told them I love how like season 6. I fell in love with season 6 because season 5 they dropped the ball on that one. I'll admit that. So season 6 I was a little bit worried, but season 6 has been going pretty well so far. So I got to meet them, and what was really cool, an extra addition to the cookbook, they actually had the season 6 character posters for Ladybug and Cat Noir. And they said, yeah, those are free. Like, Bryce and Christina are going to sign those too. I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? So I ended up getting the character season 6 posters with the voice actors signing their respective characters. And I got that laminated and hanging in my room now.
Nice.
So I got to meet them, was really amazing. So it was great to chat with them. Because obviously, for those who know, Bryce Papenbrook does voice Silver, but I love him as Adrian Agreste. And they're both they're both sweethearts. They're very nice. I think the biggest one, I think you guys may be surprised, I actually got to meet Fluffy. I don't know if you know who that is, Glitch.
Mm-mm.
Fluffy is Gabriel Iglesias, the famous comedian.
Oh, that guy. Gotcha.
Yeah, he was at San Diego Comic-Con. He and Joe Coy, they're famous comedians. They were actually doing a signing. Oh, you know Joe Coy? Yeah, Filipino pride. Let's go. I actually got to meet both of them because they were actually doing signings, and I got to meet them separately. Obviously, I wanted to show my Filipino pride because my dad loves Joe Coy. He loves his jokes, and he loves Gabriel Iglesias. So once I actually got to chat with Gabriel Iglesias before taking the photos, I told him, I'm such a huge fan of your comedy routine, and I only paid for a selfie. So he's like, do you want an autograph? It's like, it's on me. I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, are you sure? Because, usually if they're under contract, they are supposed to charge you, that's just how it goes. But Fluffy was just so generous. He's like, do you want one? It's on me. I'm like, you sure? It's like, yeah. It's like, what's your name? So I told him my name, and he signed it, and he gave me a free autograph.
That's so cool.
Along with my selfie. And
nice.
I was so honored. So yeah, getting to meet the famous comedians, and they're actually doing comedy routine like next year in the SoFi Stadium because they were promoting that, which is really cool. And I got to show my parents that, like, hey, I got to meet them and stuff. Very, very chill people. Yeah, it's another honor to meet like 2 famous comedians. I never expected it at all. Like, and I think I did meet Zeno Robinson as well. Very, very chill guy. Very nice guy. And then I also got to meet the current voice of Mickey Mouse, Brett Ewan. So
nice.
Yeah, I got to meet the current voice of Mickey. He was very nice. I told him I went to Tokyo Disney. And he's like, oh, I've always wanted to go to Tokyo Disney. But yeah, definitely Sonic Revolution and San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, they both sound like a blast, honestly. I've only been to New York Comic-Con, and it is huge and crowded. So many people, so many things happening at once, but it is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going to conventions is definitely.
Let's see. Kevin asks, who is the one person you really want to do a Q&A with?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. There's just like so many. um, I would say to answer your question, Kevin, hopefully one day to do a dual one with like Christina V and Bryce Papenbrook, but like a mix of like Q&A and like specific topic of hopefully having them discuss their characters of Marinette and Adrian on my Lucky Charm podcast, like a mix of a Q&A and them talking about, from their perspectives, what they think of their characters and their character growth.
That sounds like a lot of fun. That would have a lot of insight, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another question we've got from Trey is, I have a question. What are your thoughts about Mephiles?
Oh yeah, Memphis, Tennessee. The joke. Like he become the butt of the joke of being called Memphis, Tennessee. Where I'm like, I have to say, I actually liked him as a villain. Like he did the one thing that Eggman couldn't even do. I'll give him that. But I have to say I fell in love with more the character. Like for those, if you guys know Tara's Diary, who used to go by Fantasy Studios, I love her AU of Mephiles being more involved in her stories. And apparently in her AU she's done is that like I would say like with Mephiles, I think Mephiles falls in love with like Amy's like sister, which is interesting. So I was like, this isn't interesting. I'm like, okay. I was like, the way that she and her friend CJ like write the story, because I actually did do a Q&A with Tara's Diary like last year. Very sweet person, and yeah, like it made me fall in love with Mephiles more because of her AU, obviously. Like at first I only thought of it was like, hey, he's a pretty good villain. He did the one thing Eggman couldn't. I'll give him that. You gotta that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Mephiles.
Mephiles is a really cool character. I do genuinely feel during Shadow Gens he's never looked better, never sounded better.
Yeah.
I genuinely just appreciate how much effort they put into bringing him back, even if it is just for that boss fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually met the voice actor of Mephiles who voices him in Shadow Gens.
Oh yeah. They did an excellent job, honestly.
Oh my gosh, I see another question in the chat. It's a pretty good question, too.
Yes, what has been your favorite cosplay you've seen at a con, and what is your dream cosplay to do?
Okay, I think the first question I can easily answer, and it was at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. If you guys know Galactus, I think from Marvel, someone literally cosplayed a huge Galactus, and it almost looked like it reached the ceiling of the exhibit hall. It was that huge. And I saw it, and I was just like, wow. I'm like, how did they get inside the exhibit halls? Question. Like, it's crazy. Like, that is probably, like, the best cosplay. It was big. Like it kind of feels like, think of it as, like, I'm Sonic, and then you're, like, facing a Titan. It's like that. In Sonic Frontiers, that's what it felt like. I felt like I was, like, Sonic's size, Sonic's height, and then it's, like, when you look at Galactus, that's, like, a Titan that you're facing.
That's very impressive.
I would say. Yeah, it was really huge. I was like, I had to say is the best cosplay. Yeah, and there's like videos of it on Twitter or probably on YouTube for all I know. People have posted like videos about it. Like go look it up. It actually happened at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. And I used to do cosplay before. That was just a phase though, so I kind of fell out of doing cosplay. But I can tell you, I did do Ladybug.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually did Ladybug, but my wigs, like the wig's hair is just so messy now. And then it was just a phase. So it was just something, it was like an experimental phase for me with cosplay. But yeah, that's just to answer the second part of the question.
Cosplay in general is really fun, and even if it's in like phases, it's a lot of effort to put towards one thing, you know what I mean? There's a lot that goes into cosplay that some people may not understand or realize, but there's so many intricate details that you have to like keep track of depending on the cosplay you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. What's really cool, my BFF Super Dan, he actually was a panelist for San Diego Comic-Con for cosplay panels that his friend was actually a part of.
Oh,
And
fun.
I attended both of those panels. And he was in the first one, and I get to learn some very interesting stuff about cosplay. It was very informative. Like I was like, this is so interesting. And what happened to my friend was pretty unfortunate. He had like a cosplay oopsie daisy moment.
Oh, jeez.
Like he was on his way, because me and Maybella waiting for the Amazing Circus panel, and he was on his way to the room that we were at. So he basically told us the story that his cape got stuck in the escalator.
Oh, no!
Oh, like, luckily he was able to detach the cape at least, which is not, fully connected, but, like, yeah, his cape got stuck in
Jeez,
the
that must have been
escalator.
terrifying.
And I think, like, people were wondering how come we have to go down the stairs, and then he was like, I'm sorry, my cape. And then a guy had to literally write tools to like get it unstuck, but luckily, the cape was like at least not ripped or anything, which is good, and then I'm kind of like, and I said maybe like have your friend like adjust it, like adjust or trim so that way it doesn't get stuck again. And he literally got like a lot of Edna capes memes because of the cosplay oopsie daisy.
Oh,
that
wow.
happened. But he played along with it, and he actually posted it on his Instagram, and he was like pretend crying.
That's so
And I'm
sad,
like,
though.
oh. And then he told me, but I got a laugh out of it. And then he said, at least I could say this at the next cosplay panel of an oopsie daisy of like cosplay fail.
There's always
So,
bound to be
like,
one, right?
yeah, so that's why I kind of told him maybe, maybe you could have held your cape if it, but yeah, that was like a cosplay oopsie daisy that he at this year's Comic-Con. So, but luckily he still made it to the panel. So
That's good. At least he got there safely, It could have been much worse.
yeah.
The number of Sailor Moon Usagi wedding dresses I have seen get stuck in various things at conventions. Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The trains
Yeah.
are always so long, and like nobody's holding them, or they're not really holding them, and so they get caught on everything, and of course get stepped on and other such things, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it. That's why I'm kind of like, at least if you're gonna wear a dress, at least like, hold it up so that way nobody's stepping on it.
Yeah! I could
Mhm.
get that fabric like that is a little heavy, though. Like, if you're
Yeah.
gonna be carrying it throughout the convention, it could be a little annoying. It's slightly cumbersome, but I guess it more is just for the fact it keeps you from getting caught onto things or tripping.
Mhm.
Which that's a common thing that happens at conventions very often due to the fact that it is tight spaces everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like in the dealer's room. So
Mhm.
cosplayers love things to flip and twirl. I mean, yeah, because it adds like detail and like depth to the costume itself, but man, as somebody who did like a real serious cosplay like 2 months ago and had things that were attached to me that kind of trailed off a bit. Can't tell you how many times I was terrified that thing was going to get caught on something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely true. I think a really cool cosplay that I also did see was like I saw, you know, for those of you who know, Demon Hunters like really blew up. And I saw a lot of K-pop Demon Hunter cosplayers,
Of course.
which I'm not surprised. And I saw a really great Ruby. I was like, oh my god, like the hair looks exactly like in the animated movie. I'm like, this is so legit. I wish I could have got a photo, but it was really legit. I was like, wow, this is really great.
I can only imagine how heavy it was to carry that. Oh my god.
Yeah, like I think she was wearing the Rumi outfit with the yellow blazer. And
Okay.
had the shorts, so I don't think she really had to worry too much about the clothes or anything, you know, because obviously she's wearing shorts, you know, so I was like, oh, neat.
Yeah, I more so meant the hair piece, though, because that is a long braid that hits about towards the knees, and it's a French braid going all the way down, that's also stylized to be a center like mohawk. So the fact that it's like completely directly on the top of your head and then trailing down, one good tug is going to yank your head back slightly. So that already is heavy because all the gravity is going back there. That is, I could only assume, tons of bobby pins, possibly some wiring, and really, really sturdy attachment to the hairnet.
Yeah, like I think the one that I saw, it didn't really go all the way, like it didn't go, it wasn't too long, so at least it wasn't to like below like her knees or anything. So I think that was a good call, I think, on that person's part, because they really did think about it. They're like, yeah, realistically, yeah, the hair might, the wig might come off or get tugged on, as you said. So I think they at least were conscious choice to make the braid like at least like not below the knees at least, so which is a good thing.
Right. That is the hot thing to cosplay at the moment. It is, yeah. I've seen a couple. I think it's interesting that there's so many outfits to choose from thanks to the movie itself, so you could see different variations. All the bobby pins, extensively. Specifically for hers. The other two, it's much easier to do. God forbid they were all designed that way. Can only imagine. But yeah, chat, do you have any other questions for the lovely Leah? Feel free to ask them. Trying to think, in terms of the songs in the Sonic franchise, what would be your favorite? Your jam out session?
Ooh. That's a really good one. Great question. Like I do love to dabble in Sonic Frontiers, you know. Music's amazing in that. I do dabble in like Sonic Unleash's music too, because that's also amazing. I'm trying to think what other ones, but I think those two are like the ones that come to mind at the moment. Sonic Frontiers and Sonic Unleash music.
Sonic Unleash music is really good. That OST is so varied.
Yes. I think that's what I love about it, because it's very diverse, you know, and obviously, like, it kind of showcases my love for travel, you know, because when you see all the different, like, cultures and stuff, and it's like, man, it makes me want to travel.
Fair, honestly. Game. Yeah, no, it's so pretty. Every single track feels so distinct from each other. And not just because of, like, where it's supposed to represent, but it's the instrumentation in general and the vibe. Just does feel like you're in various other places. And I really love how that OST was handled.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I see another question by Trey. Thoughts on Live and Learn? I gotta admit, it is a very iconic song, and I love that they used it in Sonic Movie 3. Um, Especially what was interesting, because I did do a recent Q&A with the pop culture dude, and he was literally talking about in his Q&A how Live and Learn is such a thematic thing in Sonic Movie 3. And I love how the song was utilized in that. And that's why I got to give the song some respect because of the thematic theming in Sonic Movie 3, and the implications that the song gives, to the viewers when, when it starts, when the movie starts all the way to the end to the climatic final battle, That's why I give my praises to Live and, especially for thematic theming 3. It was like executed perfectly.
No, I think the motifs that were used within Sonic 3 were really, really well utilized. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Although it would have been cool if they would have just blasted the whole song, but I think the way they used it was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a classic through and through. Was cool to hear it during the symphony. That was nice.
Yeah. Because it's just like, it's like you hear it in the symphony and then you're like, they're actually using Live and Learn. Like, like the most iconic song being used. But I love the extra layer of thematic theming they did for it. And like I said, if you listen to my Q&A that I did with he just explains it super well about the thematic theming for Sonic Movie 3, and it's and I agree with everything he said, because it is a thematic theming, because obviously Live and Learn is pretty much is also some it's a very powerful song. I think it's kind of like when you don't really think about the actual context meaning of the song, you're like, hey, this is an awesome song, but when you actually think of the thematic theming, it's actually a very fantastic job at doing that, with thematic theming.
Right. No, I agree. In all honesty, everything that was used in Sonic 3 was calculated. It was used to a very, I guess it was used with a degree of high detail, intricacy. Everything was put there for a reason. Nothing was just kind of throwaway or anything like that. Something always connected to something else, referenced something else when it needed to, and it didn't feel like it was overabundant in certain things or just using it as a crutch. So, yeah. I like the way that the movie was handled in certain places. Are there some dialogue options that I feel were kind of Yeah, but everything else was really good.
I think the Comic-Con comment took me off guard, because I'm like,
that was a good one, yeah.
I go to Comic-Con, so the fact that was just thrown in there out of random, what?
It's a call out to the nerds. It's a call out to the nerds, and how dare they?
But I think, Live and Learn is, when I think about it with the thematic theming in Sonic Movie 3, it's I just love the way it was utilized. Props to the filmmakers for making it a thematic theme. Like you said, it's not just this is to, to appease the Sonic fans, because as we all know, Live and Learn played, during the final battle, Adventure 2, But with the thematic theming context in Movie 3, it just makes the song a lot better, used in that context now. And I'm like, okay, it's I've learned to appreciate the thematic theming, so yeah, that's my thoughts on Live and Learn.
What would be your dream Sonic game?
Dream Sonic game? Can you can you specify the question? I'm not sure I understand.
So pretty much we have tons of different types of Sonic games out there. Sega is big on experimentation, especially with the Sonic franchise. Probably goes through the highest amount of experimentation, mostly because they don't like to leave things alone. But there are tons of genres that haven't been touched on yet for a Sonic game. Is there any dream genre of a Sonic game that you would like to see developed?
Ooh, okay. This one I have an answer to.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I would love to see them actually tackle RPG again.
There we
I
go.
am
Nice choice.
like I'm into Final Fantasy, so I would love to see them like I know there's a lot of people, that hate Sonic Chronicles, which I understand. I played Sonic Chronicles because I am a huge RPG person.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, like, the combat was like it was pretty decent, like I can see what they were going for because that was Nintendo DS, obviously. So of course they have to like utilize the touchscreen, so I totally get that. But I would love to see them actually tackle RPG again, but like maybe like you know I would say like Frontiers is probably the closest to Kingdom Hearts. Like have like an RPG kind of play, like maybe if they can either make it like Kingdom Hearts or the Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy series. Like, have you seen the combat in Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy series so far? Like, you can like still have the menu and the characters are still moving in motion while you're in battle. Wouldn't
Unfortunate.
that like have you seen the gameplay for that glitch? I did not know that was a thing.
I didn't
Like
know
I
that
was
was a thing, and I've played the game before.
like because if you've seen like gameplay of Final Fantasy VII Remake or um like I would love to see a Sonic game like that fight, like that battle style. Because when you think of like when you read like the Sonic comics, right, or something, or play like video games, you're kind of like, man, I wish I could just do this instantaneously while also giving commands to other characters. Like I would love an RPG if it was like that for Sonic. Like I would totally play it. Just have like the character like in trick slow motion. um like I would say for those who don't know, watch gameplay, like battle footage of it. Like Square just does such an amazing job with that battle system, and I would love to see it utilized for RPG for potential maybe in the future for Sonic game. That would be great. Like, wouldn't it be great if like do like instantaneous moves and then you have like other party members and then you can direct like maybe Knuckles do like like a glide and then you can switch to another character. Like you're just like giving a lot of commands while switching, and it's an interesting combat system.
I can imagine. Would there be like a high skill ceiling for it?
Um, because at least I think because I watch Maximilian, dude. Bless this dude, because he is a huge Final Fantasy VII fan. He actually did a walkthrough, and I watched his entire and and he and he's like, I love the switching of the characters where you can either press attack or try magic or and it's basically in that fighting style because Final Fantasy VII does an ATB system, and it's basically you have to use like a bar, like an ATB bar, like either heal, do like a synergy move, and you can do all stuff with that. And I can see that as an actual potential, maybe another attempt at an RPG. And I think that style would be because it kind of feels like you're watching a movie, right? You know how like in the movie it's cinematic, the choreography, that's what it feels like when you're playing that battle. And yeah, for those who have never seen Final Fantasy VII Remake or battle footage, go watch it. You're gonna see how the characters are even when you're like trying to input commands for each character. It's great. Like it just feels like you're watching like the process of them attacking. So satisfying.
I can imagine. I feel like a cinematic RPG for Sonic would be... I feel like it's a given, but we don't have it, obviously. But I just feel like there's pieces there that could absolutely make that happen. I just worry because RPGs like that need a really long story, and I get really worried when they make those. So it would have to be a really, really good, engaging story, I think, to have that survive. But it would be really cool, because they have the characters for it, and the battle system could be so fun. Halloween, my favorite holiday. But yeah, no, it would be really cool. I like the idea of an RPG for Sonic. Wow, caught in 4K, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, no, so I could see that. That'd be a really good choice, I think. No, you're good, dude. You're good. Let's see. Anybody else have any other questions? I'm also racking my brain for any interesting ones. You've answered most of them, to be honest, without me even asking. So most of them got answered already.
Oh.
Which is good. It just means that you knew the stuff that you wanted to talk about. Nothing wrong with that, you know? Trying to think what didn't get... What's your favorite Miraculous? There you go.
Oh, what's my favorite Miraculous?
Yes.
Of course, when it first started, it had to be the Ladybug, because that's the power of creation, and creation is endless. And I love how they really reinforce that, you know. And then, of course, I had, like, friends who are, like, cat fans, which I don't blame them, because cat noir is, like, powers of destruction. So, basically, Ladybug Miraculouses are, like, they're opposites. They're, like, yin and yang. And that's their whole purpose. Because, like, when their powers combine, they become Gimme, which is the Kwami where you can actually ask for a wish to grant your wish. But they say there's a price. When you make a wish, it's also going to cause this. It's like a cause and effect if you make that wish. So, so yeah. But it's a very interesting lore, but I have to say Ladybug, because obviously, power of creation, I have that gift with my graphic design, and I relate. And there was like an episode where Tiki was on a sugar rush, and she went crazy. User without her, and it's like she created a huge glut. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah. I never want to deal with Tiki Sugar Rush if she's make something that huge. But yeah, definitely the Ladybug Miraculous. Because power of creation, you know, it's something I
Fair
relate
answer,
to.
fair answer.
I see another question.
Yeah, you got two of them. We got pancakes or waffles.
Oh, that's a tough one, man. I eat both.
I like both, but I prefer French toast hot. Third answer.
Oh, which is ironic because I eat French toast too.
French toast is good.
Like, I eat all three, so that's a tough one. I would say like this is a very great question, because my dad has added, like, he started adding cinnamon in the batter for pancakes and waffles. So
always a good touch.
Tough. Yeah, it's a good touch. Like, it kind of feels like, you know, if you eat like a cinnamon stick from like Cinnabon, it's like that. Like, the cinnamon's not overwhelming or anything. So, okay, this is a tough one. Why you have to give me pancakes or waffles?
I'm sorry. The audience wants to know.
Okay. Like, I probably might go with like waffles, because like we actually have a waffle maker. My dad makes the batter and then I just pour it, and the waffles are big. And I think one time I ate it like a crepe. So I think that's something that I love doing sometimes. When I make the waffle, I mean, I actually put Nutella chocolate with bananas in it, and it's good. It kind of
Ooh,
feels like
love
I'm eating a
Nutella.
crepe. So I'll go with waffles to answer that question because at least I can make it into like eating it like a crepe. So, um, oh, okay. I see another question by Dino. What program do you use for your drawings?
Yes.
This is very unconventional. Most people would be surprised. I actually use Adobe Animate. It's an actual animation program, but I actually have used it to make my artwork, which is crazy to think about. It's not as advanced as other art programs, obviously, but I've used that to make my drawings, my video thumbnails from time to time. But I also, for my graphic design stuff, I use Illustrator because I when I was in university, that's what we were taught to use. So I ended up basically Illustrator and Animate. I don't know, like I took like an animation class and I fell in love with how easy it was to like color your vectors pretty much. And it's something I'm more comfortable using. Like I am trying to use Clip Studio Paint, still learning. But Adobe Animate, I'm very comfortable using. Like all those song cover artworks, I've made it all in Animate. Um, very fun fact, like the Double Trouble, the Popular, Beauty and the Beast, I'm With You, yeah, the Sage cover, that was made in Animate. So, but the most intricate one that I did, I have said this story a few times, is the simple clean cover that for the Sonic and Amy cover. That
Mm-hmm.
took like 2 days on Animate to make. The characters took like 15-20 minutes, but the background took like 2 days to make because of how detailed it was.
Oh, wow.
um Yeah, and that was not using like an art, like, like a drawing program. This was using Animate, I'm very that I pulled because I think that cover artwork got like over like I think like over 2.5 something likes, I think, on Instagram. And I think I actually gave that specific piece of work to Andrew and Doom at like last year's in-person Revo event. Because I
Mm-hmm.
told them, if I ever got to meet you both at Revo, I'm going to print that out on nice paper and give it to you as a gift. And will and behold, Doom and Andrew came last year for the very first time to Revo. And I kept my promise. I printed out on nice paper and I gave it to them as a gift because they were the very first collaboration. I want to gift that to them. Then Andrew literally asked me, "Can you sign it?" I'm like, "What? You want me to sign it?" So I ended up signing Andrew's like print of it. So
That's fun.
Mhm.
Typical Andrew. He's too sweet.
Yeah, he's
It
such
is
a sweetheart.
crazy. He is. It's crazy to remember how long I have known this guy for. But he's
Yeah.
honestly not changed, and he's still a very sweet person. Let's see here. Just doing a stretch. How long have you been drawing for, actually?
Oh, I have been drawing ever since I was a little. I started drawing because my mom did like a lot of art crafts because she is a daycare provider. And we did a lot of art crafts, and I guess that really inspired and made me pursue like, graphic design in college. So I actually tried drawing humans, and the very first human I tried Kingdom. Of course, it's not gonna look perfect because of like, drawing humans is
Humans is difficult, yeah.
It's like a chore. It's
A little
basically a
bit.
chore. But I did try my attempt at drawing, and it was so funny because when I look back at it now, I'm just like, oh my gosh, his head is big and his body's so. That's how I drew humans back.
It's a bobblehead creature.
Yeah, so I started drawing at a very young age. And then luckily I discovered that passion at such a young age because, by the time you get to college, you don't really, some people are like still unaware what they want to do, and they're like stuck at like, is this the major I want to pursue or is it something else? Because, some people sometimes people don't know what they want to pursue in college,
Right.
and it takes some time to think about it. But with me, it was very seamless. And I was in community college first before I transferred to a university. So, my parents were like, "You're so good at drawing. You should try to pursue this." And I said, "Yeah, I love doing this. Hopefully, to one day have a job, do something like this." So, it was very easier for me to find my passion that I did, that I've been doing throughout my life. And yeah, when I first drew Sonic characters, I always found it weird that the characters' heads were big and their bodies were like small.
Yeah.
So what I did to compensate was I made at least like their bodies at least like equal size their head, just to not make it as weird. But then when I look back at it, I'm just like, oh, that's so terrible looking. I was like, why did I make their body like the same size as their head? Yeah, it's really bad now when I look back at it.
Hey, everybody starts somewhere, It's trial and error with Sonic characters anyway. It's all circles at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you look at it, because like their heads are huge, like compared to their body.
Oh, very much so.
And then when you look at their size of their feet because of their shoes, you're just like, wow, that's big shoes.
Takes up most of, in all honesty, compare their shoes to their hands, it's almost the same size. Sort of.
Yeah, it's like, I think that was a little weird to me back in the day, but now I just accepted it. I'm like, okay. Okay. They, the company decide that's the style they want to go with. I'm like, right. I'm not gonna judge it. That's just the way the character is designed. It's like, okay. And then
whatever I've learned works, and it works.
Yeah, and I actually learned to actually draw it at least proportionately correct now, where I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel weird anymore. I think the hardest thing I had to draw was if you guys have listened to the Beauty and the Beast cover, drawing Werehog Sonic as in the Beast's full outfit was tough.
No, I could imagine. It looks pretty intricate.
Yeah, because when you look at the Beast's intricate formal wear that he wears during their dance, I was like, oh, I thought this would be a walk in the park, but then I'm like, I'm not used to drawing Werehog Sonic. I don't know if I can do this. But luckily, Andrew gave me the motivation, because you want to know what he said? He's like, we should do Beauty and the Beast. And I'm like, okay. And then he said, but Andrew decided to go the extra mile. I'm going to sing it in my Werehog Sonic voice. Of
course he did. Of course he did.
I was like, you sure about that? So literally, when we, Andrew, I think it was kind of hard to tap back into that. So what he did, he is such a trooper. He ended up replaying Sonic to get his Werehog back. And
it's the best way to do it.
And he did all of that just to make this, he didn't need to do the Werehog voice, but he did, and it was amazing. And literally, it's the cover that has probably the most dialogue, because it has like dialogue in the beginning and dialogue at the end. And I wanted to have Tails and Chip with speaking dialogue, so I was like, huh. It's like I need a VA who does Chip voice. So I literally asked Sydney, and she recommended Geeky Sonic VA, and she told me, oh, he does a pretty good Chip voice. So I reached out to him, and then at first he thought, wait, do I have to sing? I'm not a singer. I'm like, no, it's just Sonic and Amy singing. Chip is just dialogue.
They're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, like he thought he had to sing. I'm like, just Amy singing. So like at least he's like, woo, okay, thank goodness. But that cover did so well, because I think the first, we released that to celebrate the anniversary of Sonic Unleashed and Beauty and the Beast, because Beauty and the Beast released in November, and so did Sonic Unleashed, and we did it in the middle.
Nice.
And it actually reached 1K views within 2 weeks of its release, which was crazy, because that's never happened for a cover. I would say exception would be Roses, because Roses grew up because of Mario Brothers movie.
That's pretty funny.
But yeah, the Beauty and the Beast cover literally reached 1K views of 2 weeks of his release, and I told Andrew, and Doom's like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm not kidding. And I shot it to her to show her that it reached 1K views within 2 weeks of its, and that one was a huge undertaking. I always go to Andrew because he, and he does his Sonic radio specials. So yes. I know he knows how to write characters in characters. So I asked him for advice on my dialogue, and I asked him, "What do you think of this dialogue? Can you read the character's dialogue? Make sure it's fan fiction cringe or anything?" So he literally looked it over. The dialogue's pretty good. I'm like, really? It's like, it's not cringy. It's not like cliche or anything. Doom said it was cliche though, but I was like, hey, it's Beauty and the Beast. It's got to be cliche, but Andrew said I wrote the characters pretty well, so I was like, that's a huge honor coming from him, because I'm like, I normally don't. I'm not a writer, so I wanted to be sure that that cover was authentic, and I kind of have like my head canon if this happened in Sonic Unleashed.
Right.
So I was just like, I can just imagine that they like invite Sonic and Amy, you could say, on a blind date and just dance, and just have them dress in Belle and the Beast's clothes. So that's what I wanted to have, and they made that happen. And Andrew sang that very beautifully as Werehog. Like, I did not expect him to, like, expectations for him to do that, but he went the extra mile and tried to. I was like, no, you didn't need to. But he did anyway. But I'm super proud of how it turned out. Literally, a lot of people were like, oh, I was like, I need to see more of this, because literally Andrew and Duke did a whole, I'm not sure if you've seen that one. They actually did a duet of that one. And that was actually Andrew's idea. For that. So I literally told I like, when we did that practice session, Andrew and Doom nailed that song. And I said, I think this one's easier because it is naturally a duet, and you already know which parts Sonic's gonna sing because of Aladdin, and you already know which part Amy's gonna sing, like Jasmine. And that song was just very seamless, and that done pretty quickly, actually. Well, I think it took like Like we had to circle back with Andrew. It took him like about a month to get him to record his side. But yeah. Very, very it was very cool. And then Andrew just changed like 2 words in that song.
Oh, really?
Obviously, you know how Aladdin says, "Tell me, princess," and they said, "Tell me, Amy." And then you know how Aladdin says, "On a magic carpet, right?" And then he said, "Sonic." So he changed it to that because obviously super in the cover art. So just to go with the cover art's like context, he did off of that. And then Andrew decided to add bunnies in the end, which we had no idea until recording. He decided to add big, just saying that was so romantic. Out of nowhere.
That's pretty good.
So I was just like, Andrew, I was like, dude, you're doing too much. The
overachiever.
Yes. So he ended up doing that cover. But yeah, but I think another great song cover, I'm not sure if you to it, Glitch, it was Together that Sydney and Kelp sang as Blaze and Silver.
Mm-hmm.
That one literally was a huge undertaking because I actually did a practice session with them. And luckily, both Kelp and Sydney, like, literally listened to the song to get the rhythm of. And Kelp, such a great guy to work with. Shout out to Diet Dr. Kelp. This dude really embodies Silver and Shadow very well. But his Silver especially, I knew that doing this Stronger Together, that's from Miraculous Ladybug Awakening movie, apparently me and Kelp had the same idea. And we proposed the idea to Sydney, and she's like, yeah. And then she actually listened and said, I can see why you guys want, because this really does fit Blaze and Silver. Mm-hmm. And I have to give praise to Kelp because he literally like came changing the dialogue for Blaze and Silver to fit more of their context, their story, and because I had no idea how to win it in order to keep in the rhythm, the ending, and Kelp just nailed it out. Being able to fit Blaze's story, and it worked pretty well, and a lot of people, like, we actually did this prize for Gabsam because she is a huge base, and we actually decided to surprise her one of the Revo like our video showcase, and we actually Kelp actually told her just tune in, and then we actually as people in Revo actually get first look mirror at the new song covers that I produced, that I helped collab with. And Gabs went crazy when she found out it was Silver and Blaze together. And she was like, she went super crazy for that song cover. And I asked Gabs, what did you think? And she's like, Leah, this is so beautiful. This. But yeah, listen to Stronger Together, everyone. Those who haven't listened to it yet, Kelp and Sydney just nailed that song. They did such an amazing job.
Both very extremely talented people.
And literally Kelp was a trooper because he literally said the guy's singing voice for Adrian was hitting high notes, and Kelp was like, I don't know if I can hit the high notes. And I said, and I'm very considerate where I'm like, just stay within your voice range of the character, way you don't strain your voice. I never want any of the VAs I collab with to strain their voice to hit like high notes like that. But Kelp did such an amazing job, and such a troop to make that happen.
they're so amazing to work with for the times that I have gotten to do stuff with them. So I can imagine how awesome, like, being able to do that with them was. Because they always bring their all whenever they work on a project. So nothing short of amazing anytime that they're working on anything.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Yeah, they always put like 150% effort in everything they do. I truly enjoyed collabing with them for that specific cover. I'm like, you know what? I need a Sylvain's cover. And that song was like the perfect one to do. And everything. I think a lot of people enjoyed, for those who have listened to the Buddy song from Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure, and that was Josh and Andrew as Knuckles and Sonic. I'm not sure if you listened to that one, Glitch. It's pretty funny. But I actually got to do that collab with them, and we actually showcased it before the panel with what they and people, I think there was like a few people who laughed at like Sonic's line of "You have ears," like because when you look at Knuckles, where is his ears located? Like, do you ever wonder that?
I just assumed it was his very many tentacles on his head.
But yeah, it was literally a joke that made so much sense in the context of this. But Buddy's song was like perfect because it was sung by James Monroe, Eagleheart, and Zachary Levi. And they voice Eugene and I am blanking out on Lance, yeah. And they sang this song, but the context is that in the saying, the characters are, you could say they're like seeing hallucinations. Is the best way I can word it. So the song is hilarious if you actually watch the actual scene that song playing. And this was so, it was so much fun to collab with Josh and Andrew on that one, because I was like, yeah, we haven't had a Sonic and Knuckles like duet cover, so luckily we actually managed to make that happen. Shout out to Josh, like he just really embodies Knuckles very well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the song covers are just so much fun. I know I've been like on hiatus. It's been very slow because EAs are busy, you know, so I have to respect their time, and that's why song covers are a lot slower. And
Right.
I'm pumping out, you know, I did a lot more like the previous 2 years, but as of right now, you know, my live streams have been doing pretty well, so at least that's been helping me a lot. Like I said, I enjoy doing my podcast series on my YouTube channel. Being able to interview people is just a lot of fun.
I can imagine. I mean, being able to meet people in general with stuff that you like to do is always so much fun because you're both sharing in something that you're both passionate about. Nothing better than getting so excited with another person that's on the same wavelength as you about something, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like, doing the song covers has really like opened like great avenues. Like literally, I actually also did one with Infectious Pink. She's such a sweetheart. Actually got to do a Marine cover, How Far I'll Go, which I feel like that fits Marine very well, you know, because obviously Marine loves the water.
Right.
And I kind of feel like How Far I'll Go just really describes her character personality very well, if you know what I mean. So doing that song cover, she's like, I could give it my best shot, you know, because like she was just like Glitch. It was like probably her first time doing a song cover.
Right.
And being able to, and she was able to do it, and she's like, that was fun. And people are like, oh my gosh, this song Marines well. And I'm like, yeah, I want my song covers to really describe the character pretty well. So that's why I always like the song covers to be very authentic as possible. But yeah, hopefully I can get more song covers in the future. It's just been very slow, but my podcast series has been doing, my podcast series I've been doing and live streams has been doing pretty well. Twitter Spaces, so.
No, I mean, the podcasts have been doing really well, as has your Twitter Spaces. People have been very excited every time you do one and have missed them when you don't do them. So far, great track record with that stuff, which is good. It really means that you're connecting with a lot of people, which is always a positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because